Well, the big question, will Alex Murdaugh testify in the double murder trial against him? That is what the defense is still mulling over tonight as they get closer to the conclusion of this case.
Now, the defense already has called Murdaugh's son Buster to the stand, but calling Alex Murdaugh himself opens him up to questioning from the state.
Our Nick Neville live from Colleton County at the courthouse tonight. So, Nick, tell us more about what you have heard regarding this latest development and all the speculation about whether Murdaugh will in fact testify.
Yes, Shudi and Dondi. So this morning, the defense revealed that they were considering calling Alex Murdaugh to the stand, but it could come down to a last-minute decision as to whether or not he will testify. This morning, without the jury present, defense attorney Jim Griffin asked presiding judge Clifton Newman to limit the scope of the cross-examination, particularly questions about alleged financial crimes, should Alex Murdaugh take the stand. Newman said he would not issue such an order.
For the court to issue some blanket order limiting the scope of cross-examination, that's unheard of to me.
Then Murdaugh's former law partner Mark Ball took the stand, offering compelling testimony for both sides. Ball was at Moselle the night of the murders and says the crime scene was not secure and no one was blocking traffic in and out of the property.
Did that entrance get blocked off?
No.
What happened?
People just kept piling in. I mean, it was just more and more people kept showing up.
He noticed water around Paul's body from the rain that night, which bothered him.
It's a crime scene. You don't want just water dripping all over the place, but more importantly, I thought it was pretty disrespectful. I mean, Paul was a good young man, and quite frankly, it just pissed me off.
In a stunning moment while being questioned by Griffin about Murdaugh's relationship with his family, Ball, who has known the defendant for more than 30 years, said this.
The person I thought I knew loved his family, or appeared to love his family very much. He'd take their calls, he'd do all of those things. After, September the 3rd, I'm not sure I know that person.
On cross-examination, Ball testified that Murdaugh lied to him repeatedly, including about stealing millions from clients and about where he was minutes before the killings.
He denied to you 3 times that he ever went to those kennels, did he not?
He did.
His buddy, his friend, and his law partner, 34 years, told you 3 times, I was never there.
That's correct.
And you know now that's a lie.
When I saw the video a month or so ago.
Ball also said that Murdaugh did not appear to be overly concerned about his safety or the safety of his surviving son, Buster, on the night of the killings, telling Ball, quote, he'll be fine. Now, our Greg Adaline is standing by. We want to get to him with more on the possibility of Murdaugh testifying. Greg.
Well, that's right, Nick. It is the million-dollar question. Will Alex Murdaugh testify in his defense? A question that many people want to know. And to get some insight and analysis on that, let's bring in attorney Joe McCullough. Joe actually represents one of the victims in the boat crash case, Connor Cook. He has a separate lawsuit going against Alex Murdaugh himself. He's going to give us some insight tonight. Joe, thanks for joining us so much. Talking about the possibility of Alex Murdaugh testifying, what would be the possible benefit for the defense in having their client, Alex Murdaugh, testify?
Well, it's rubber meets the road day. There is one great unanswered question here. Why and did Alex Murdaugh lie about being at the kennel shortly before the murders? He's the only person alive who can answer that question. So that's a hard decision because there are positives and negatives. He can maybe win this case. He could perhaps lose miserably if he fails and if he decides to testify, and that's uniquely his decision. If it's game time tomorrow, then we will see something that you rarely see in these kinds of cases.
The pitfalls, as you mentioned, could be staggering, especially when you think of a cross-examination that the state might bring, calling Alex Murdaugh on some of his mistruths or even some of his lies. How would that go over with the jury?
Well, we started the day today with the defense asking the judge to limit the scope of cross-examination, limit the amount, or if not exclude financial references, and perhaps allow him to invoke the fifth as to some of those questions. the judge seemed to be telegraphing his decision this morning that he was going to be wide open to questioning. Now, I expect behind us in the courthouse in just a minute that issue is going to be raised again. That may dictate what happens tomorrow, but there'll be some late night oil burning on this decision. But it is ultimately Alex Murdaugh's decision.
Do you feel like he wants to testify in what you know?
Based on what I know and what I've seen, he seems eager to testify. I mean, that he may see the necessity. He's a lawyer. He is capable of assessing these risks, but he's not a criminal lawyer. And as one who has been that for 45 years, this is a hard decision for the lawyers to say, caution, caution, caution.
Yeah, certainly. That's at least some of the speculation surrounding this case, and we'll see if it plays out. And Joe, this has been a trial that has extended for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's been one of the longest criminal trials in South Carolina history. You have some perspective on that.
Well, I do. In the 80s, Dick Harpootlian prosecuted Pee Wee Gaskins for a heinous murder. That case was defended by Jack Swerling. The two of them soon became law partners after that trial, which took 6 weeks. I shortly thereafter became a partner with them, but we're about to break that record, so Mr. Harpootlian may hold the record for the 2 longest trials in the state's history.
Yeah, well, it could be a full circle moment. We shall see. Joe McCullough, thank you so much for joining us. We know that you're in court every day. You even bring your dog along from time to time.
Gabby hates not to be here. She loved being with the press. She was everyone's comfort dog. I think I saw her sitting in your lap.
Right across from me, Joe, watching me diligently, but thank you so much. We appreciate it, Joe McCullough. So that's the latest from here in Walterboro. We will be standing by to see if the judge makes any additional decisions about the possible cross-examination of Alex Murdaugh in this highly watched and unprecedented murder trial. But for now, that's the latest in Walterboro. I'm Greg Adaline. Let's send it back to you.
All right, Greg.